More breaking news from overnight now. 2 men are shot and another is on the run today after attempting to rob someone in Mayfair. Police say an Uber driver got out of his car on Longshore Avenue near Sackett Street. That's when 3 men walked up to him with guns drawn. They tried to rob him, but police say he pulled out a gun of his own and shot at least 2 of them. The third man ran away.
Okay. One for the good guys. Now, this epidemic of Uber drivers getting robbed is we've been chronicling this for years. It really upticked in 2020 after the Blackistanian Spring and the summer of George Floyd. However, this right here, this is one for the good guys. And we love stories like this. I try to bring you guys as many stories like this as I can possibly fit in because I have a lot on my desk. But this is a great story. This is a great thing. We're hearing a lot about how people are upset about Kyle Rittenhouse defending himself and shooting 2 people. And injuring a third. Well, that's what this guy had to do. This Uber driver. Just picking up a fare, going about his business, doing his job. Uber drivers are a part of the lifeblood of a city. You know, they get people around. They move people from place to place. They're gainfully employed. They're law-abiding citizens. And 3, and you know who did, and you know the description on these 3. So I'm not even going to play games with you. Philadelphia, 3 men, gentlemen, approached him with some static, trying to take his stuff. And he probably didn't have no cash on him. They probably going to take his car, too. Not today. And I'm glad, this is why I'm glad Kyle Rittenhouse won, because a lot of people don't understand. If Kyle Rittenhouse loses that case, that's case law and precedent. Those are 2 things that I didn't hear a lot of people talking about. But we talked about it on the live stream the other day on Nation TV. Make sure you join me every Tuesday and Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And join the panel. Hit the StreamYard link. Come join the panel. We were talking about the case law and precedent. All across the country, liberal lawyers would have been able to use that as precedent. Because what happens is once a judge rules something somewhere, anywhere, it can be used as precedent in another case. So Kyle would have lost that case for self-defense, which was clearly, a clear case of self-defense. All across the country, bit by bit, liberal DAs would have, and liberal prosecutors and whatnot would have been using this to lock up people who were using their Second Amendment, to lock up people that were using their Second Amendment liberties. Oh, I cite Wisconsin. I cite Kenosha versus Rittenhouse. And in that case, man, So in this case, we believe that, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it would erode over the years our Second Amendment rights. And guys like this guy, this Uber driver, he may go to prison for this if the Kyle Rittenhouse case had been adjudicated in a different way by the jury.
More breaking news from overnight now. 2 men are shot and another is on the run today after attempting to rob someone in Mayfair. Police say an Uber driver got out of his car on Longshore Avenue near Sackett Street. That's when 3 men walked up to him with guns drawn. They tried to rob him, but police say he pulled out a gun of his own and shot at least 2 of them. The third man ran away.
A person that was targeted in this robbery was in possession of a valid permit to carry. He stayed on location, spoke to police, described what happened, and additionally, there were numerous cameras in the area that we were able to access, which confirmed his version of what happened.
And that investigation is ongoing this morning.
Well, Philadelphia police are also investigating an attempted robbery that ended in a deadly shooting. A food delivery man fought back when 3 armed robbers approached as he arrived home in the city's Mayfair section overnight. Let's go to Action News reporter Jacqueline Lee live at police headquarters. And Jacqueline, security cameras in that neighborhood recorded the whole thing.
That's right, Walter, and police are reviewing the footage. Now, multiple neighbors tell me that the suspects were actually waiting for the victim before trying to rob him. Those neighbors call the victim brave.
You an Uber Eats driver and you coming home and there's 3 sunmen waiting on you. And you survive. Only reason he survived this is because he had that pistol. Philadelphia is a killing field. 2020, 2021. I don't think you guys understand how much the murders rose in 2020 from their previous state. Like, murders up everywhere, but in Philadelphia, it's up like through the roof. Thank God this guy had a gun. Thank God he had a gun. Because in Philadelphia, it's something in the water, like, not in the water, but it's something in the energy. And the thugs, their mind state down there is they are wicked. They'll just kill you. And you guys know, you guys have seen the videos I've done on it. They'll just kill you. They don't care. Off to the gun memorial. And look at everybody here. Look at the people. Everybody here. You got a few Ricans in here, but the majority of the people, the vast majority, are Sun people. The vast majority. And these people were all like slaughtered and butchered in the streets. It wasn't like something in the house. This stuff happened in the streets. All these faces. Dude, I'm just down to September. I did all that scrolling. I'm only down to September. Look at all these faces. This is who's getting killed in Philadelphia. This is the faces of the people who get killed in Philadelphia. Okay? I know you remember this guy. Milan Lanchar. Walking his dog. 2 thugs walked up on him and just shot him. They asked him for something. He put his hands up and they instantly shot him. Did a video on this. What happened? Just blew his brains out. And left. The whole interaction was probably 4 seconds. They walked up. He was walking his dog. They walked up. They put the gun to his chest. He put his hands up and they shot him. And they ran off and got caught the next day. because it was all on camera. There's so many people I'm seeing on here that I did videos on over the years. Did a lot of videos on this. On people on this list. Like, just look at this, man. I know you remember this. Skylar Owens, Mooney, Kim Kardashian look alike. The incident began around 4 a.m. when a 29-year-old man, armed with an assault-style weapon, entered St. Luke's Episcopal Church and approached an employee. He shot at the worker and took her car keys. The worker wasn't injured. He then drove off in that worker's car before crashing along Green Street. The man then got out of that car, which later appeared to have a flat tire, around 4:15 a.m., and tried to carjack a woman, firing several shots. The woman backed up and was able to get away. He then attacked a 19-year-old woman driving an Infiniti around Shelton Avenue. During that interaction, the man shot the woman, leaving in her car. Officers rushed to the scene after receiving multiple 911 calls. They found the injured woman and rushed her to the hospital, where she died a short time later. The man left the car and ran off, his weapon in hand. And officers caught up with him and shot him a short time later. That's how this woman died. That's how this woman died right here. "19 years old." And the stories, I'm not showing you the son stories because, like, some people don't care about, they ain't ready to do nothing about this. All this is coming from their community. And they love this stuff. They ain't ready to do nothing about it. They worried about the police. Chasing the police around. Trying to make sure every single interaction in this city with all these thugs and lunatics, every single interaction's got to be perfect. Or else, got to make sure every single act, like all of them, you got to be 1,000%. If one officer does something wrong out of it's probably 10,000 police officers in Philadelphia, 20,000 police officers in Philadelphia, something like that, on the force. If one makes a mistake at any time, we got to make sure we let the whole world know. They ain't worried about this stuff, man. They worried about police, man. So that's why I chose to look at the white people, the few white people that get killed.
That's right, Walter, and police are reviewing the footage. Now, multiple neighbors tell me that the suspects were actually waiting for the victim before trying to rob him. Those neighbors call the victim brave. Saturday night around 12:15 a.m., the victim in an attempted robbery in Mayfair turns the tables on armed suspects. We're blurring the video to protect eyewitnesses, but here you can see the victim near the door of his house.
He was coming home, taking a break from his job delivering food for an online food delivery service. He went inside his home with some food for his family. Upon coming out the rear door in the back alleyway behind the 3200 block of Longshore Avenue, he was confronted by 3 black males, at least 2 of whom were pointing guns at him, demanding money.
Police say the victim told the suspects that money was in his car. As one suspect started looking for it, the victim pulled out his gun and started shooting.
I don't really like violence, but it's in self-defense. So if he didn't shoot them, they might have shot him. So I think in that case, there's not much he can, do.
Look how scared these people are to, and this isn't scared of violence. This is scared of public opinion. She knows who did this. She knows it was a Sunman. It's Philadelphia. She knows that, and she knows she can't come on here and say what everyone is. Good riddance. They got what they deserved. Should have been messing with them. Oh well. These liberals, these crouching tiger liberals, these pasty liberals, they can't. They know that they can't. They gotta treat Sunmen like kids. They gotta treat Sun thugs, Sun teens like kids, like babies. Like they just can't. You know, they can't. They can't make any mistakes. I know a lot of you guys got toddlers. You know, your toddler like tries to dive off the couch. You gotta catch her from diving off the couch head first. She pick up a plug and put the plug in her mouth. And it's like she chew on everything. Climbing up steps and no way to get down. Toddlers are constantly doing things that you got to constantly save them from. You got to constantly catch them, stop them from doing things. My daughter, I pick her up and she don't want to be picked up. She'll just do like this and try to fall out my hands. And I'm like, I'm 6'3". If you fall out my hands, that's a long way down. So I got to make sure I put her down. But if she had her choice, she'd just dive out of my arms. It's like, but I know she's a child, so I know I have to treat her like one. And these people know that Sunmen are children, so they have to treat us like that.
I don't really like violence, but it's in self-defense. So if he didn't shoot them, they might have shot him. So I think in that case, like there's not much he can do.
Neighbors say the area is filled with Brazilian and Chinese immigrants, people who work hard and for long hours. They call the victim brave.
It's
really good that the victim actually be able to defend himself, because other people wouldn't have a gun or wouldn't be able to defend themselves.
Officials say 2 of the men were hit several times by bullets and taken to the hospital. 1 remains in critical condition. The second suspect died from his injuries, both about 20 years old.
Think about this, man. And I tell you this all the time, like in your city, there's tens and thousands of Sunmen that are just willing to throw their lives away at the drop of a hat. These guys were going to rob a Uber Eats driver and get what? $50, if whatever, like if he had in some credit cards that they could probably, maybe a credit card or something, or maybe his car, his hoopty. And one of them lost their lives. And the other 2 are going to go to jail for, Larry Krasner's. The other 2 that survived, they're the lucky ones. They'll get like 6 months in jail, but if that, they won't start their sentence until 2023 because they'll get an ankle monitor and a 2023 court date. So the guys that survived are pretty good because Larry Krasner is the DA over there. But one of them died. And hit one if you think that these guys been preying on this community. That they gonna find out these guys been just hitting up a lot of people in this community. They say who's over there. A lot of Brazilians, a lot of crouching tigers, carry cash, don't use banks. Sunman there's probably several crews working in this neighborhood.
Officials say 2 of the men were hit several times by bullets and taken to the hospital. 1 remains in critical condition. The second suspect died from his injuries, both about 20 years old. The third male suspect is at large. And police say that the victim did have a concealed carry permit. The homicide unit is investigating. At this point, no charges have been filed.